sir. You got it?
It looks like we have a quorum.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
we do.
You want- I'll call up the committee, the chair, if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Gary Jacobs,
Here.
Mr. Louis Pellegrin,
Here.
Mr. Bernal Slight,
Here.
Mr. Rick Garza,
Here.
Mr. Robert Mancha,
Here.
Mr. Joe Garza,
He's sick today.
is that? Mr. Tony Martinez,
Here.
Mr. Joaquin Romero, right?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, I'm sorry.
Here.
That's fine. All right. Sir, we got a quorum.
Okay. Motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
So move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public comments? I think we have a guest today.
We have two guests today. Well,
My name is Ernesto Luis, and I play golf at Max once a week. I don't come to criticize because I know Dennis does a great job with what he has, you know. He doesn't have enough people to do it, right? And Dennis can tell you how much time I spend picking up trash when I play golf. To the point where my partner said, "You're gonna pick up trash or you're gonna play golf?" But you know what? What happens many times, and I see it all the time, I call it the Laredo syndrome. We see trash, but we don't really see it, you know, because we're so accustomed to seeing it. And this happens also at the golf course. I mean, you drive into the parking lot and I can see trash and I can see beer cans and I can see soda cans and bottles on the parking lot. I mean, I'm sure people see it, nobody picks it up. So now we're hosting the Border Olympics. A lot of people come to the Border Olympics, the parents, the sisters, the grandparents, and they will notice. And it's very embarrassing for us, you know, to see the beautiful golf course, beautiful brush, but there's trash there. And I carry this on my carpet every time I play golf, pick up the trash. But there's sometimes, you know, during the summer and the spring, I don't go into the brush, you know. Yeah, sure. But you see it all the time, you know? And this is under the concrete bridge leading to the first hole. It's been there for several months, you can tell. Yeah? The same thing on the other side. So what do we do, you know? And it's difficult because, you know, how can you train people not to throw trash? It's very difficult. But we have people who play golf, who can pick it up. Or maybe Mr. Gomez can send us somebody from Parks and Recreation that may be able to help us or help Dennis, you know. And the thing is that we gotta get it clean before the Olympics, number one. And then we try to keep it clean. We used to have a marshal, Manuel, I don't know what happened to him, you know.
He's there. Yeah, he was on vacation, but he's
Okay.
back.
But he was more interested in picking up golf balls than trash. And I'm sure he went all over the brush, you know, because he had tons of golf balls.
I think all the marshal.
So, this
Would you
is-
ever buy some?
I came to the committee because I called Mr. Gomez and said, well, I don't have committee meetings every,
Golf course does give you.
once a month, I guess.
Whatever it takes for me,
And
gives you
he's
10
right,
minutes.
percent your argument. Well, I said, I don't have an argument because Dennis does a great job. And the the restaurant is excellent and the staff there is excellent. But sometimes, you know, people need to be told what to do. They won't do it on their own. And you remember the World Soccer Games when the Mexican section left, it was all trash, and the Japanese left, and there was not one piece of trash on the seats. So it may be a cultural thing, and I tell my wife that, and she gets upset at me. But you know, I mean, when I was young, growing up, my parents taught me to pick up the trash. You know, I remember walking with my mother down to downtown one day, and there was a piece of paper, and she said, "Okay." I said, "I didn't throw it, Mom." She almost laughed. So I picked it. So you learn, you know. But nowadays, you know, I don't know what's happening, but you know, that's besides the point. We're not going to fix that, but we can fix the max, you know. And it's awful. You have the natural brush, and I've seen wildlife there. I've seen what's called the wildcats and well,
Deer now, we don't know.
hawks, everything. So, you know, it's like ranchers, they don't like trash in the ranches because the cattle will eat it and they could die, you know. So The other thing is, maybe we can get a marshal, and you don't have to pay him, just allow him to play golf. And tell him, look, your job, your main function would be, because there's not that many people playing out there, your main function will be pick up trash, and you can see it if you look for it. So, the other thing is, we have beautiful golf carts, but they're always dirty. The coolers are dirty, the ball washer is dirty, with dirty water.
Even the
they
new
take all
carts?
time. Huh?
The new carts?
The new cart. And so I know you don't have the person to do it, because you need one full-time the guy there and another part-time guy. Look, you need a pressure washer, and I'm willing to donate the pressure washer. Don't expect the industrial guy to do
Yeah.
it, but a pressure washer, because I bought one a few months ago, man, I love it. I use it in the house all the time. So, and it's easy to clean, all you have to do, and then, when it was cold, so you lift the windshield, dirty, everything. So the golf carts are nice, and I don't know, how much they cost, but I know they're expensive.
Very.
We have the,
GPS.
Yeah.
the GPS.
Yeah.
And, so, we have everything we
Yeah,
need.
to answer with that, the GPS, that's why we don't use the pressure washer anymore, because we don't want some kid not pay attention that hits the GPS thing and then, because we used to have a pressure washer, yeah. So they're a little more fragile, but that's one of the reasons. And the
Yeah.
other, maybe what we need to get is a water softener before it comes out, because in the windshields, no matter what, they get that,
Yeah.
the calcium buildup.
Well, you have to clean them,
Yeah.
And you don't have the personnel to do that.
Yeah.
And I asked one time, I asked Dennis about the people that do the maintenance on the golf course as well, I don't have any authority over them, so they can't help me. But they mowed some areas, that were brushed, and then the trash is there, so
Yeah.
nobody picks it up. So,
My impression is that Mr. Horstman doesn't have enough staff to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
That's my impression.
Yeah.
So first thing, maybe put up some signs that say, no littering, or
we did.
or fine people who you catch littering.
Well,
Can you do
that's
that?
it.
Just kick them off the golf course.
Do you have signs right now?
They're actually, now since we're electronic, they're on the golf cart.
Okay.
So we're actually thinking of doing one with Fabiola, saying, no, because now we can put video on it. So, because people, they don't even pay attention to it. Because it's a slow down.
If it doesn't have sound, there's an area in there where it's just a picture, and I agree with Mr. Solis 100%. I think my golf cart looks like a darn trash truck when I finish, because I end up picking them, and I say to everybody, and I think Bruno, I tell them that's part of my workout, to go fix divots and pick up trash. But I think over the last, now that we've had more volume of people there, because maybe the country club closed down, and then Casablanca wasn't there, the more volume we've had, the more trash we've had. But we do need, and we've discussed it to a certain extent, that we do need more trash areas for people.
Well, we
to
have
dump.
8 trash receptacles
Yeah.
throughout the golf course.
Well, there with the water
Yeah,
jets.
whether there's water, there's trash receptacles.
Mhm.
But it's easier to throw in the brush, And I don't know what group of golfer does that, I have no idea.
The other ones that I do see a lot though is the flying out stuff.
Yeah, they fly out.
They fly out. If you put something like this in the back,
Yeah.
and they don't notice it,
Yeah.
it ends up happening that way. But it's up to,
Well, they should be putting it in trash cans instead of putting it in the back.
right, well, they're reading when they
More
finish
trash
it.
cans.
And
Yeah,
please
throw it outside.
deposit your trash here, or something like
And
that.
something as simple as just a sign going along with what Mr. Jacobs was saying. I think even at the front, just kind of remind people, pick up your divots, don't forget to say, I was there this past Saturday. When Paga was there? I think Paga was there Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And one of the observations with the group I was playing with, there were a couple of physicians, and I'm asking for their feedback. Hey, first thing they noticed is like, these bunkers they're not even raked.
No.
And part of the reason was because on the you got these long, beautiful bunkers and one rake.
Yeah.
No one's gonna walk those extra feet just to, maybe 2 rakes on the bigger bunkers. But I counted, and most of them only had one. I think there was about 2 or 3 that I saw more than one rake. And then the divots.
Yeah.
Something as simple as that, maybe a sign, even though you have nice technology on the carts.
I think.
But before they're taking off, before, in the clubhouse, just a little sign that says, remember to,
Yeah, we'll put it back. We had them on the old signs,
had 'em.
remember, it was a piece of paper, but when we got the new ones, we were like, let's kind of do it up here.
Right.
But we can just go ahead and have them.
Even signs on the restrooms. But the restrooms, we have one, they have every 4 holes, the main restrooms.
Yeah.
And put signs out there in the
Just a
restroom. That way you can
reminder.
keep seeing it, at least every 3 or 4 holes.
It's reinforcement.
And
The other thing
bigger
that,
trash cans there, you put bigger.
the other thing that I
Trash cans
saw
are small.
That's true.
yeah, were those stakes. I mean, I got tired of straightening out those stakes. Some of them were just buried on the ground. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They went over them.
It's crazy.
Every
It's
time
honestly,
Jesse and I walk
nobody
out
was-
there, we spend all our time straightening up the stakes.
all the stakes, I picked up about 8 or 10, and
Yeah.
some of them were literally like,
Yeah, Tom's
Hearts were going over
weaning
them.
himself off putting them, because obviously we have the geofence stuff, but he still uses it in some areas, and people still.
why don't we just limit those stakes and put maybe the strings? Would that be better? Just
They'll run over the string.
well, I mean, that would be, you know, egregious, I guess.
But I
Tammy,
think
you still playing
the
out
geofencing you put up.
Tammy, you,
Still plays out there?
are they
Yeah.
practicing?
Yeah, they-
Well, given my experience, the high incidence of divots in the fairway happens when those guys play in the winter months, because they walk and they don't have sand.
Yeah.
You just watch the
You just know what
difference.
you're doing?
Yes, you just watch the difference when April, May comes around.
But look at,
Trust the divots.
so, speaking to Dennis earlier about that, and I was talking to all the coaches last week, because there was a high school tournament in there. It really is a problem. We're not gonna have the kids or the players out there walking around with the sand deal, but I wanted to see if we can put, JJ, if we can put as part of our budget, sandboxes on the 100-yard marker on number 14, I mean, on number 4.
And the park.
And the par 3 tee shots. That way they can fix it themselves, because, or for us, for that matter, because they're practicing on number 12 and all these other areas. In other words, I think that and we've discussed this before, I think we need to solve the problem for the public rather than the public solve it for us. Because if we don't set them up for success, they're gonna continue to do
Right.
exactly what they're doing right now. And we're gonna come back to his stuff.
I want to leave you, but I left a printout of areas where I see more concentrations of trash.
You're welcome to stay if you'd like to stay.
I'm sorry?
You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you'd like.
I have to go to another meeting.
Take a plate.
So join us.
Take a plate, Mr. Solis.
We meet here once a month, as I told you, wait for it.
Oh, and what's your first name, sorry? She said, you know what, there's no trash cans around the parking lot. And,
The parking lot at the max? We definitely need more trash.
We need more trash.
But
We're gonna have- yeah,
thank you for your observations, because it drove Jesse and me nuts walking out there, seeing all this trash. We used to just carry a bag and pick up trash as we were walking. But it's just, there's no reason to leave all that trash there.
when they pick up the dumpsters, you know, once a
Yeah.
week, right?
We've been
You know,
getting
the
out.
trash spills over. and
No, that
tomorrow picks it
what's
up.
happening is they sent us a new trash can, but it took us 2 months to get it, and we'd call them on a daily basis. It had a hole at the bottom. So the guy would do this, and all of a sudden everything's coming out. And we showed him video, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll send you one. We'll send you one." It took us 2 months. But it's trash.
Which company is it?
Is it Southern? Yeah, Southern Sanitation.
On our end,
We got it
on
finally.
behalf of the Parks and Rec, I will schedule with Dennis, especially maybe on Mondays after all the traffic has happened over the weekend, to go help pick up
Yeah.
trash so we can send the crew over there.
Yeah, and that's what we did 2 or 3 times last year. Even if it's once a quarter, you know, have like 5 grand, but that come ready to at least like
With the waiters and all
Yeah,
that.
because
You
they
can
need
do that, you
to
said? You think?
Yes, sir. I will
Yeah.
send,
Great.
I will
And
send a
then
group over there.
with some long pickers, because it's hard to get down that bridge because they put in rocks and all that.
I told Horacio one
Yeah.
time, he sent a group out there and they
Mhm.
picked up some trash.
No, but we'll make it a routine that we make it every quarterly, or it's every 2 months.
Yeah.
That I schedule my 4 or 5 guys down to go down there and get over
Do we need
there.
Mr. Solis to sign the, want to sign this, or?
Yeah.
And the other thing, Dennis, on 11, there's still a flooding situation there. I thought it had already been, you know.
On the-
And then you
on
see the tracks.
On the
The tracks on the water jug,
tip-offs.
on the water jug area.
Yeah.
The
I mean, you still see the
ruts are
tracks.
there, the ruts are there, they're crazy.
I don't know if it was a draining issue
I think it just depends on the sand,
Like it'll get
how it's
everything-
sloped like that.
or, yeah.
So when he puts it on for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, especially in the summer, it's all gonna drain that way.
And what you see is you see all the tracks,
Mhm.
where they go in immediately. You
Yeah.
see all-
No, when I go by, like when we're playing and all that, like hole number 7, when I go in, I tell Oscar, the trash cans are there full, and he'll send somebody
Yeah.
out there, because it's flying and all. We can report, hey, on hole number 7, 8, or 9, it's full, can you, right?
For sure they need more trash cans, but how do you do that? I mean,
You gotta put some teeth in, we're reinforcing negative behavior by saying we're gonna, bust somebody and tell them you're no longer welcome on this golf
Yeah.
course, and I guarantee you that's
The
gonna
word will get
out.
around like that.
Yes, and people are going to respect that trash stuff. It's my biggest, it makes me want to choke when I see that. You got a beautiful facility, and people don't respect it. And that's bad. And,
But I don't
and
know
the
how-
other thing,
I don't know how you enforce that at the
it's
city
easy.
level.
You've got marshals out there, and they see somebody doing that, and you say, you're off the course.
If they want to challenge that, though.
Yeah. Well, we
I
can
don't
start,
see how
we
you're
can
gonna
start
challenge
with a
that.
huge
If it was a
campaign.
private
Look,
club,
we
you
can
could
start
do
with a
that, but I
huge
don't know
campaign
how
of
you
doing
do
that.
legally.
Hey, that's a rule.
And we can start with a
You
huge
can't yell
campaign.
fire in a damn, in a
Not out
I
theater.
there.
mean, I'm all for it, but the city has to, like, pass an ordinance or something, because otherwise I don't think you have.
I think it was a combination of two things that I saw, and I think that if we ever get there, I think that a lot of the people would kind of understand, but I think with a combination of reinforcement, and they put a huge campaign out there about cleanliness, number one. Number two is I'm proud to say that, for me, it was part of the workout. I go out there to exercise, and part of the workout, man, start picking up papers. It's a workout. You get to, and some of these guys told me the same thing that they
Well,
told him.
you're in the rough anyway.
Well, I know where everything is outside of the fairway.
You're in the rough everywhere anyway.
Outside of the fairway.
Rick, is that your secret? Is that why you're looking good, buddy?
That's right.
Like it's the
Nah,
picking up trash?
I still gotta.
We need better looking trash men then, man. Like ripped, right?
No, but the deal is that at the beginning, yes, I saw the thing on the screen, and it doesn't, to fix your divots and to fix your ball marks. Nobody's listening to that. There's got to be sound. There's got to be, well, as soon as you pay at the entrance to say, remember, you got to fix your divots. The marshal's out there and we'll correct you, and they just constantly pound that. But the other part of it, I was happy to see that I slowed down a group the other day by fixing everything. A lot of the divots on number 4, I had like 4 bottles of sand out there. And number 4, and it started picking up. You start noticing people starting to fix their own divots and doing that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I'm kind of with Louis on the sense that, hey, hasta cierto punto les puedes decir, and you have to do something.
Right.
Who's going to talk to the marshals?
Yeah, we'll talk. Well, I mean, the thing with the marshals is we gotta have the backing, because the marshals, I mean, what's his name? Your brother. He can get after people because he's a big dude, but then they come and say, hey, this guy's, I'm not gonna come here, I'm gonna go to the Casa Verde.
Let him go. Let him
Well,
go.
you'll lose 1 or 2, that's all
Yeah,
you're gonna
I
lose.
mean, as long as we got the backing from the
They'll
city,
come
then,
back. I mean, they'll come back.
I mean,
As long as they're fair and consistent and they're
Yeah.
from whatever,
that's the thing.
And it's not inconsistent with other golf courses, even in San Antonio.
No, it's true.
Even municipal golf courses, you have rules that you need to.
I mean,
abide by.
that's right. The marshal is usually an authority figure out there.
Sergeant at arms.
It's like having a cop out there. People slow down and wait to see what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
Mr.
know?
Palacios.
Yeah.
Buses guts.
You see the flag, a la chingada.
yeah, because I mean, like I said, he's done it before, but I've gotten,
Who's this? Backlash.
Mr. Cal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an ex-border patrol agent, so he's a good guy. But I've gotten people complaining to me and be like, well, yeah, Bob also.
But there's a lot of municipal courses throughout the United States that you get on the course,
Oh,
and if you drop trash, they'll run your ass off of there immediately.
Exactly.
They'll run you off
So
immediately.
then is that,
So I don't think this is something that.
yeah, I think, the fact that people are coming to the committee and saying, hey, this is a big deal, you need to kind of really get your arms around this.
Yeah, I mean, as long as-
And I agree that the golf courts have to be clean. You can't have hundreds of thousands of dollars of new golf carts and then invite people out there to a Robert Trent Jones course and have them dirty. So you just gotta work it out. In other words, whatever you have to do it, but to me, it's not complicated to keep clean golf courts and discourage people from throwing trash and picking up the trash and doing all this stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
that's part of your responsibility.
Correct. At the same time, like I said, in the sense of we get after people, we have a limited number of golfers already. Like I know who comes on my Monday, my Tuesday, my Wednesday, my Thursday.
But you're
And-
having more people now with the country club closed.
Well, they're already opened up again. We lost the country club crowd already. They're already back
All
at their
of them?
course, pretty much. I mean, I think we kept 4 or 5 of them that now, I guess they come to our course now all the time. I forget his name, Casagüero gentleman. Lance
Varela.
is always out there
Lance.
now. He's out there 3 times a week. But
I mean,
they're all
I think you can still, I mean, talking about signs, I mean, please pick up your trash. Maybe reminding people that littering is a Class C misdemeanor, that it is punishable up to a fine, and sometimes just
It
reminding
is city
people.
property, if I can.
Yes, of course.
So we have Keep Laredo Beautiful.
Okay.
All right, we have Keep Laredo Beautiful, Blasita Lopez is in charge of that. They have signs, they have money, they have trash cans, and they have those signs that we put in our parks. Littering has, it's a park, just like us. If we catch a guy littering at the park, we have up to $250 fine that we
That'd
can
be great.
punish.
So they need to educate Dennis and work with him
Right,
to
so we
get
need to
those
set up a
signs
meeting
up.
with Keep Laredo Beautiful and Blasita soon, ASAP. Will you please
Full
really
force
call?
of the city, man.
So we can set up with us, because it's part of us, part of us. And whatever we can do to promote, to enhance, and make sure that we get the message out there that this is a city park just like anybody else.
Littering is a crime in red letters.
We have all those signs already.
And that's the first thing you see. I mean,
On Monday, I'm sorry, on Saturday after we did the tree planting at Father Magdalene, we had a big tree planting at Father Magdalene. As soon as we put the trees, they went right behind us and put all these signs, keep it real beautiful.
Yeah, that'd be
So,
great.
so, that's what I'm.
Yeah, let's do that.
Look at that.
What bothered me were those stakes that were just,
Oh, yeah.
people running over them and not even having.
They hit them and they're all bent.
Oh, they're all bad.
But the geofencing actually does help.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get that with Blasita. That'd be awesome.
Okay, can I comment on that? Regarding, I'm the other guest that you have here. On behalf of the Border Olympics, I wanted to, first of all, thank JJ and the city for opening up the max for us, and for you all for allowing the Border Olympics to take place there. We're spinning this as a very positive thing, because a lot of coaches, and I mentioned this to you before, have come to me and have asked me if we would do a Division I women's tournament down here. And I viewed it as a positive, because we could possibly use the max 1 year for men's, switch the next year, back and forth, not doing them at the same time, because it would be too hard for our committee to try and get it done. But let me comment on the first thing I was going to say regarding the trash cans, because we do, the Border Olympics will have a lot of people walking. The kids are riding, and there will be parents and spectators walking. We've asked the city to put out additional trash receptacles. And I think we already discussed that, and we know exactly where we're gonna put them, because we don't wanna have pickups during the day, during the tournament, so we're gonna make certain that there's plenty of trash cans large enough to accommodate the
What's
trash.
the date?
Pardon?
Fourth and 25th?
The date, February 24th and 25th.
Monday, Tuesday.
It's actually 23rd, 24th, and 25th, because we had a practice round on the 23rd, and the tournament is actually 24th and 25th. And you'll have 500 rounds of golf in 3 days.
Wow.
It'll be their first exposure to the max.
It'll be their first exposure to the max. When I took the coach from the University of Houston out there, man, he was tickled pink. He said, "Wow, this place is beautiful." After driving, all the way to Mines Road, I've known the guy for many years. He looked at me and said, "Where in the hell are you taking me?" And all of a sudden I turned in there, and we drove up to the course, and man, he was really, really pleasantly surprised. And these are schools that are coming from all over the U.S. I forgot to bring my list the one that I gave you the other day. If you pass it around, the one that I gave you all the other day, if you pass it around, just so people can see the schools coming from all the different places that they're coming. But it's not only the schools, it's the players from many of these schools. Now College Golf Division I has a lot of foreign players. For example, if they want to.
Yeah.
For example, the University of Kansas City, University of Missouri at Kansas City, they have, out of 5 golfers that they're bringing, 3 are Frenchmen, 1's German, and 1's American.
Wow.
And then, but all of them have Swede golfers. They have kids, from a lot of these teams are never going to be as close to Mexico as they're going to be when they get to the course. So they're excited. We have it on our website. I invite you all to look at our website, which is www.Border Olympics University Golf. It's borderolympicsuniversitygolf.com. And you know, we have a big spread on there. We got pictures from the CVB and of the course. Everything looks nice. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for this. We have a few things that we needed to iron out. We talked to Dennis, Louis, and JJ about things that we needed. And I think one of the things was the bunkers. We needed some work in the bunkers to make them more playable. The greens, there were just 3 greens that had a little bit of problem. They had some Poana coming out, but they already sprayed it. And now hopefully the Bermuda will pop up before this, you know, if we get some more sun in the next few days. But all in all, it's going to look fabulous. We even talked, was it yesterday or the day before while we had the meeting? On Monday. On Monday while we had a meeting, we talked about what they wanted to do was beautify the entrance right there by the gate. We're going to put some signage there, but they wanted to put flowers. I said, don't make it too flowery because we're out in it's basically desert golf. I mean, that's what it looks like, and I think that's, I don't want to put things out there. It's going to cost money and they're not going to grow anyway. But
I never paid attention to who plays, but why is there no presence of A&M or University of Texas?
University of Texas got upset years ago. Okay, I've been chairman of this thing since '88. It was '85. The University of Texas got upset with a rules person that we had years ago, and I won't mention his name, but he was a local guy, and he decided he wasn't going to come back. And ever since then, they've never come back. J.T. Higgins, the coach from Texas A&M, told me, he says that you know, they get invited to other tournaments where they get a $5,000 stipend. In Border Olympics, we give them a $1,000 stipend, and many of the schools think that's fabulous. But A&M and Texas, while they're big as far as names are concerned, they're not always the best golf programs. We have, out of the 17 teams that are coming, 14 are ranked in the top 75 of the nation, which is out of 300 schools. That's pretty good in Division I.
I know Oklahoma State came a couple of years ago.
Oklahoma State has come. Yeah, Oklahoma State has come.
That's a premier.
That's a premier. Yeah.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. We've had them before. We had Stanford one time before. When my son was going to Stanford, I went and visited the coach, and all of them know about the Border Olympics.
Wow.
This is our 68th year. We are the oldest continuously running Division I tournament in the nation. The only other tournament that's older actually in name is the Western Intercollegiate, held in upstate New York, and we started in 1952. They started in 1950, but they closed down for 8 years. So we've been running since 1952 continuously. And the oldest, I mean, in our Hall of Fame, we have Billy Maxwell, Don January, we have Tom Kite, Ben Crenshaw. We have some of the best names, and
They used to play Casablanca.
yes, that's exactly right. And I've been to some pro tournaments where you're walking in the crowd and you yell at somebody, you remember the Border Olympics? And the guy turns around, yeah, I remember Laredo, the Cook Shack. They always remember the Cook Shack. We're lucky enough to have the Trevino family. They sponsor the Cook Shack. Pete Mims does all the cooking, and he cooks about 500 or 600 pounds of fajitas, and it's open to everybody. I mean, the players, parents, kids, whoever.
On that note.
No, you all aren't getting invited. You're not getting
No, do we have you properly situated for everything that you're gonna need for him to cook and
we have it strategically set. As a matter of fact, I'm going out there again tomorrow. I just told Dennis.
Second floor will be open in the club.
Yes. So they can see everything. We're gonna have, that's where we're gonna do our breakfast, and that's where we're gonna do our scoring up on
Did you get the
that.
sponsorship?
To your
Dr.
point
Alfred?
about using both golf courses, I think that's an excellent idea because it makes the tournament a lot more interesting. And for that matter, there's another tournament, because they all feel will come back. You know, the API tournament, that would be another one where you can, but that brings in a lot of money to the community, a lot of money.
Well, I mean, one of the things I turned into, I think I turned into Ruth or you, is to the number, no, to Joel with CBB. He asked me how many room nights, and really, it's in a conservatively speaking, it's probably 350 to 400 room nights,
Wow.
and that's just in
You
a short
organize
period.
all that, you
Huh?
know, y'all have organized all that for them.
Oh, yes. In other words, all that's done. You know, we have this thing down pretty much to a science. With the only hiccup that we ran into this year was the actual venue where we were going to hold it. So when we moved it out there and we didn't pull the plug on the country club up until about a month ago, was it about a month? About 5 weeks ago. And really, realistically, I mean, everybody here has worked wonders. Everybody knew what they had to do. We sat down, we had a meeting at the very beginning, and everybody has pitched in. We're spinning this thing, and I keep telling my people with Border Olympics, we are not going to spin this as a negative that, look, we're going to the max because of the border, because the country club is closed. We're spinning this as a positive. Look what we're doing. Look what we're doing here, and what we want to do in the future.
Is this the first year we have it at the Max?
First year ever.
So this is a big deal. This is a showcase opportunity.
Yeah,
for
and
the
that's why that.
Need some good press on it.
Yeah.
We're already working on the press. We talked about that on Monday.
The mayor will be making some remarks hopefully that morning.
Yeah, that morning I asked the mayor, I sent him a text and asked him if he would be out there on that Monday morning to do a city welcome and, you know, just basically kick off the tournament.
On our end, we were able to help, I said the city of Laredo, we paid their expenses for their green fees. So the city of Laredo, CVP is paying their green fees for close to $6,000.
Really?
For green
Yeah, really realistically, and the reason that happened is the country club gives us everything for free. Everything. The green fees, breakfast for 2 days, and whatever. So I asked what the city could do for us here, and they were able to find out through the Convention and Visitors Bureau that they paid for the green fees for those days. And we're going to pick up.
How about breakfast?
We're picking up the breakfast.
Did you get the sponsor?
Border Olympics, and what we're doing for that, and I'm looking at you, Bernal, and you, Conrado, and you, Bobby Mancha. We have the College Jam tournament where we put 3 kids, and you played in it before. I know Bernal's played. So we're having that, and that's where we're charging the golfers, and that's where we're going to be able to hopefully offset the expense of the breakfast.
Did you try, and I had told them before about that breakfast, usually Palenque is a very good, you know, they sponsor almost every golf tournament that's out there, they sponsor the breakfast. So it might be a good idea to reach out
Why
to
don't
them.
you ask them and they'll say,
Yeah,
go.
it'll save you a boatload.
Palenque Grill, that'd be great.
Yeah,
What's your budget for breakfast?
about $5,000 for 2 days.
So
For 2 days.
someone know Pancho to ask Palenque?
I'm not sure how they approach them every time, but every tournament that's out there.
Who's been approaching him? If you know of somebody who seems to have that good in, let me know. And
Well,
I'll.
we used to do it for community schools through their CFO, God, what's his name? But he's based out of San Antonio now.
Well, honestly, they're the children of Don Pancho's grandkids go to Mary Help. My wife is there at Mary Help. So what I'll do is I'll ask my wife to reach out to the wife.
Talk to Bobby Cruz. He gets it for the USD tournament.
Well, the other guy that knows the Palenque people, or it's a guy, the lender at Texas Community that used to work with us, Joe Sanchez.
Joe
I
Sanchez?
think Joe Sanchez handles that account.
I'll talk to Joe. I know Joe.
Does he play golf?
No, I don't think so.
I'll try and approach it from different ways and see if we can get them.
He's got one done.
Because they'd love nothing more than to have some signage out there. A lot of these kids, when they come in, first thing they want is a taco, so they go to the Palenque.
That's right.
How about Danny's?
I haven't tried Danny's.
Danny Lopez, I have his number.
¿Tú lo conoces, Dennis?
Danny?
A Dennis.
Palenque
As many things, as many corporate sponsors that you can get for this thing, and that you guys get to
Yeah.
keep some of the, because you all do a lot of stuff for the community. I would hate for you all to spend a dime on that thing.
Yeah.
You know, and then keep most.
Well, I mean, that's why we're holding the College Jam, because the College Jam will bring in hopefully about $9,000, and we have, and this tournament, it's really a low budget thing for us for last years, because it's been held at the country club, but we don't have many expenses other than the breakfast, other than the breakfast that we'll have here. We give the teams $1,000 per team, so we have 17 teams, that's $17,000, so.
But JJ, that's something you want to try to keep at the max.
No, definitely.
Kinda
We don't want to let it go.
We don't want to have them come out of pocket for.
No, I understand. We're trying to, the only thing, it happened so fast that we didn't budget for it.
Right.
This,
We'll be talking about that, Gary, for next year.
Hopefully
because
for next year, along with CBB as well, that we can start budgeting for.
One of the things I'd like to do is figure out a way, and for all of you golfers in the room, you'll understand this. It's a 54-hole tournament, and you play 36 one day and 18 on the other.
Yeah.
How could you possibly do it to where you could, I'd like to play part of the tournament at one place and part of the other in the same tournament.
Imagine that.
If we could do it.
Hey, Coach, you guys gotta drive that, not this guy.
Yes, sir.
Not the operator. I can tell you.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Drive what?
Dennis has got it.
Can you,
Sir,
Jay,
protocol,
can you
protocol.
talk to also, and right when we started talking about it, we started talking about you all since October. I said, if it does come this way, because the rumor was that it was gonna come this way, I said, we need to put the full force of the city behind it. And the other part of it is, we haven't talked to transportation, because I'd like to see if we can get a bus going out to the park and ride for parents or anybody that
That
comes
would
in
be
here.
I hadn't thought about it, Rick. Great idea.
Because if the parents are here and they're gonna be spending the day, that's number one. Number two, I'm not sure the location of, don't laugh, Bernal, but the porta potties that you're gonna be putting, I would say some in the parking lot area over there as you make a right. Because some of the parents that are gonna be walking around are not gonna make it all the way to 14 and all the way to number 3.
No, we already had that.
Okay, so some of the either in the parking lot, and make sure, like I said, I wanted to see all those people that are gonna be, maybe, I know that some of the hotels will give them a ride over there. But if we could put that park.
But no, if we could do that, I could put that on the website to the coaches. There will be shuttle provided, between
Monday and Tuesday, ¿verdad? No.
Monday and Tuesday.
When we went to the Masters,
Where,
they
though?
took care of everything.
From where to where?
Park and ride.
I don't know, but the park and ride would probably be that would be the easiest. They stay all over town.
Yeah.
And normally, because these teams all have contracts with different hotel chains, that's why I tried years ago to have a host hotel and have one hotel that would host them all. But no, some have Holiday Inn, some are La Quinta, believe it or not, some, or Hampton and Marriott's and stuff like that. So they stay in different places. So if we could have a central gathering point, which would be the park and ride, that's the one over there on the old base, right? Yeah. If they
On the
would,
other side of the base, right here on the other side?
yeah.
On this side of the airport?
Yeah. In other words, if they were to go there, and there'll be buses or shuttles going back and forth. If you can pull that off, let me know, because that way I can immediately put that on the website.
Or you can do it in the parking lot of HEB off Sunday
Plus.
in Delmar.
Yeah, shoot, even Malden.
That's-
Until HEB comes and hauls your cars away, like they did the Border Patrol guys.
Or even unit trade.
Yeah.
Unitrade's got a big old
Do we have
parking
any
lot
games
there.
going on?
You have hotels.
That'd be nice.
The following weekend.
Because
Yeah,
right
most of
there,
the hotels
because
right here
now,
will do-
Yeah, see, they can come there.
because now you can take Loop 20, you got the overpass going
Yeah,
over
it's
there,
quicker.
35.
Might be easier to
Unitrade
find the
would
parking lot at
probably
Unitrade
Yeah.
than the park and ride.
I think the parking lot of the Unitrade would be better. It would be easier, because they're gonna stay in this area. They're all gonna stay in this area, all the hotels in this area.
What about the golf balls for the range golf?
Yeah, we already,
They're ready.
or they're ordered. Yeah, we haven't
We-
pulled them out yet.
No,
Hey, there
Dennis
was-
hasn't used the new ones on all of us.
There was nothing that we didn't think of. And we're bringing the diamonds from the country club to put them up. To put the balls up, because we don't have the diamonds out there. And the signage, we discussed everything down, I think everything down to the porta potties on the course. We got how many we're gonna put, where we're gonna put them. We have there's not gonna, the information that has already gone out for ADA, because we have to be ADA compliant since it's a city course. So the only carts that are gonna be available, other than the players themselves that are riding, are gonna be ADA carts to individuals who have made the reservation in advance.
Do we have ADA cards?
Yeah.
It's a form that they have to fill
The
in.
bald spots on the cart paths.
No, you talking about me or what? Yeah. Bald spots, I'm sorry.
On the cart path, you did an excellent job on number 13, putting sand where it's dry. And it gives it a little bit more aesthetic value to it. I'm not sure, but every location like that, we can kind of make it look, instead of making, caliche there or whatever it is, that nothing grows in there, we can sand it out. And that adds to the manicuring of the whole deal in there.
Yeah, on 13, he's gonna put a netting on it. He says not the stands there, it's a net that lets the grass grow. I don't know.
Something that's coming to mind
Yeah.
right now, JJ,
Okay.
that I'm thinking about is, doesn't the city have a photographer, videographer, or something that we could somehow or another shoot some pictures for city use, but then I could get some of those pictures, send them off to the schools?
I have a PIO in my park department.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
For,
because, see, that way, when I send them off, they look at the beautiful venue and all this kind of stuff. People are gonna, the coaches are the first ones that drive this bus. They'll come back and tell me, hey, we wanna go back out to that place. We like that course.
Well, you've got, the city has a library of some really good pictures of the golf course. Because
Yeah,
they use.
I've heard them, I haven't seen them, but yeah.
Well,
can look at
we
them.
got a bunch of them that we put on our website.
Okay, because when they first
The
opened
access
it,
channel, the access.
That's where they're from.
but I don't remember what department is it had, but they spent a lot of money photographing it, and then they used them on these TV screens that HR has in the airport, different places. So
Can
those
you find out, Ruthie, who's got those pictures?
pictures exist.
What was Placita work with?
CVB, it's the CVB.
That's what.
Yes.
Maybe they
Placita
have-
was working with
Well,
CDC.
that's
who has it.
I'll talk to Joel.
Yeah, he has the CD.
I'll talk to
We
Joel.
also have Gulfstat coming down, a representative from Gulfstat, and Gulfstat is the #1 college ranking website. And what they'll do is they are actually gonna have somebody on site to make certain that their scoring is going on live on the website. Because a lot of times parents back in their foreign countries, what they'll do is they'll get on Gulfstat and find out how their son is doing after each 3 holes. It gets posted. So we'll actually have a Gulfstat representative, and she'll shoot some pictures as well.
I don't know about this, but is it possible to get like KGNS or somebody?
Oh, yeah, okay, GNS, I've already talked to them.
But to set up, like they do. when
Couple of
you-
towers.
Well, set up a deal there, like when you're watching
The traffic.
a big golf tournament, that.
Well,
A video?
just on that one, I already contacted, the Golf Channel, and I've contacted Fox Sports out of Dallas. Just so happens that my daughter, sorority sister, her father is the president of golf, of Fox Sports. And so I got his name, contacted him, and he wanted more about the tournament. So he said, we may send down a crew just to film it.
That would be great, even 1 or 2 holes if we could get.
Talk about exposures, that'll be.
See,
Yeah, I
and,
mean, that-
and exposure with this type of a venue, with the venue and with the teams that are coming, means a lot, so. Anyway, I wanted to come, thank you all for
Well,
everything.
no, thank you, but I'm gonna just stay on this TV thing for a minute, because I assume everybody is with me in opposition to building a wall along the golf course. So what better moment politically to make a great statement promoting the Border Olympics, which is playing on this Robert Trent Jones golf course along the river, with shots of the river and all that. So you might talk to you know, somebody in media and say, would y'all like to publicize this?
I had one of the college coaches that was down, he launched a ball. He said, do you think I can make it all the way across to Mexico? I said, watch out, it'll come back this way. You hit a golf ball over there, watch out what comes back this way. But these kids are they're gonna be so enthralled with the fact that, wow, that's Mexico right over there.
Well, and so I agree with Gary, because about 3 weeks ago,
Contract with the border patrol.
3 weeks ago, we had Flower Bluff.
Little bit, nobody will know.
3 weeks ago, we had Flower Bluff out of Corpus Christi that didn't want to come play Martin High School because of that violence thing. And we told them, you don't want to come, don't come, you forfeit. But that kind of.
It's a mindset a lot of them have.
Of course. And they ended up coming over at the end, and it's, we're safer than anybody else in here. But
It's safer here than anywhere else.
We can drive that point.
Anyway, I gotta
It'll
run.
be spectacular. You can just see it clean over the river there.
Number 9.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Hey, I'll be out there tomorrow.
Bring your clubs.
Gary, thank you very much.
Stay for $20 a home.
We're gonna take care of this. We'll talk to you later.
Bro, the golf gods are fickle, man.
Yeah, I know.
They have the worst date on my calendar.
Okay, take care, we'll see you.
16. What's 16? Yeah, on the tee box.
You could look at the 16, the tee box also.
It's
But
pretty.
they were holding on until.
Or maybe the 15th green, check out the 15th green also. Just have a perfect clear view of the river there. I don't know how to do it.
Green, 8, is it 8?
Yeah.
8 also.
8 and 9.
But 8 has really grown up. You used to have a really good view there, but it's.
16 tee box, 16 tee boxes, also good.
Well, you could go down the fairway down there too.
Yeah.
16 is
See if we
good.
can
8
fly
for a
around
view of the
with
river.
Yeah,
Oh,
you could
8, 9,
also-
I think
16.
it's on here in the
You'll get a
agenda.
much nicer.
I think we talked about it on the agenda. no?
I think it's on the agenda, and I'll bring it up here in a little bit. Okay, any more public comments? I think that was.
Yes, I want to say something. With regard to, we're beating a dead horse here on trash and all like that. But if anybody's got clout with the city, or whoever takes care of the Mines Road leading to the golf course, there's a colchon that's been on the side of the road there for about 2 weeks now. And you know, really.
On the middle?
No, it's on Mines Road, like before you even get to the man.
Ask me, said más o menos por ahí.
Yeah, I saw
But, you know,
Someone's using.
I mean, this is what people are gonna take home with
A
them.
mattress.
No way. He's
Anyway,
laying there?
oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
See that?
if somebody can talk to
Rick, you got
whomever
a truck, no?
to, pick up all the confetti
I've had
and stuff,
success
and
with
shred it
311.
and all that stuff, it'd make such a difference, I think.
I'm very proud of the city's 311 system. Every time that I've called, they've reacted very well. I'll call them up and tell them about it.
Yeah, but if it's within city limits, we can.
They've done a great job every time. I mean, at least when I've called them, people say, well, maybe we're not calling the right places, but every single time that I've called them, they've done a
I know
great
I'm
job.
preaching to the choir, but getting the Border Olympics and keeping it is a big key for the Mags. I mean,
That's why it's important to have all these things, the trash, the
trash,
it's all the other stuff we
course
talked
has to
about.
look great, the golf carts have to be clean.
It's an audition that weekend, guys. It's an audition
Exactly.
for all of us, and,
Are the tees gonna be at the tips?
We're playing black.
Well,
Yeah, I know they're
the
playing
Houston
black.
coach is gonna set him up. He's gonna wait for the wind that day because it's been lately coming in from the north.
Yeah,
So
make
if
it
you,
harder.
yeah,
Number
number
one.
one's gonna be.
That number one's gonna be brutal.
But if it,
Number 5, I like to see it back.
oh yeah, it's by your house.
Well, I like to see it on the other side of the golf cart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9 are a beast with the wind in your face.
Yeah. So
And
it's
nine,
been.
and number 9, I think from the black is what, 225? Into the wind, it's gonna play like 240.
Yeah. it's
That's
been-
like a 4-iron.
Yeah,
5-iron
probably.
for them.
For
Same
them.
thing for us.
Yeah.
Nah,
I'm not gonna have any
I-
problems, those guys.
Nah, yeah, but that's a tough
Then
stretch
you
of holes.
said
7, 8, 9 with the wind in
7-iron.
your face. That's
Yeah.
a tough stretch of holes for any golfer. No, that par five is not in two, I guarantee
It's harder if
you.
the wind's coming.
Not in
We're
two.
talking about 4 and 5.
And I'm talking about 7, 8, 9 into the wind. The wind's always into you, 7, 8, 9. It's a tough stretch of golf. It's a 600-yard par five. That par four is over 400 yards, and that par three for the blacks is nothing to
Yeah,
trifle
it's
with.
230.
With water, with international waters to your right.
We should name
Yeah.
7, 8, and 9
That's our
Jacob's
amen.
Corner.
That's our amen. Yeah, there you go.
Because that's a tough set of
It's a
courses.
tough stretch of holes, man.
I hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you-
One of the other things I wanted to bring up was that there's issues with the clubhouse getting too warm during the summertime.
Yep.
The transfer of heat from the west side,
Windows.
the windows.
What we're talking about.
Yeah, and I went to Gateway Glass just to visit with them to see, well, what's your solution to this kind of stuff? And they said there's a couple of different ways to go. You can do this window screen where they have this a see-through thing on the inside. And it's supposed to keep the radiation of heat like to 95% or something.
Yeah.
Now, flip side of that is that once the heat does come in, it stays on the screen and it continues to radiate heat inside. The other thing would be like window tinting, like you do on cars. And then, but the thing I thought was the best of all would be to do, and I talked to Mr. Jacobs about it, was a lattice. The lattice is already, well, it's not lattice, it's an arbor. And you just put perpendicular slats on the west side. It's already there. All you have to do is put the slats up. And
That's the cheapest and most aesthetic thing to do. I think you could do it really cheap.
Yeah,
So,
we,
you know, the idea when I built that was to grow bougainvilleas up there.
Yep.
And,
that is nice, like a
and I
pergola.
did it in our ranch in Mexico, and it worked beautifully. And it was a sombra perfect. We did it, Hank and I did it at Pasillo, that little house that we restored across from St. Augustine Church. For some reason, it didn't work at the golf course, but putting those slats, you could probably do it for $300.
Yeah.
And it'll shade everything.
Those are
better.
cedar slats, and they're a lot less, because I'm not sure about those, if it can sustain the weight. So cedar slats would be the less dense of the wood that you can use probably.
So our guy went to go,
That's pretty
that
much
was to
cedar,
go
right?
measure the difference, the
That's pretty much
distance,
cedar?
to continue with that.
treated
And that
wood.
should be that very
Street wood,
expensive.
I mean,
too.
They ripped it.
Just gotta put enough to really
Just ripped it.
block the sun's
That would qualify for
When it was
the
done,
105K.
they thought it was all gonna be green up there, and it's never gonna work, so.
Yeah.
You did grow vines over it or something.
So we need to get, when we get our engineer or architect, just
Está todo bien.
está todo bien aquí, we can, yeah.
No,
45.
Y ya después, they grow anything you want.
That's
But
exactly.
that
I might
would
order
be
some
the
fish balls, because I was keeping them when he falls into the river. And then
Bueno,
fish balls, the golf balls made out of fish food. That way there's no like, hey, they hit 100 golf balls into the
I
river.
didn't know they had such.
Yeah, they're like golf balls, but
So, you know, the other thing you can do is
Bueno, that's
put bamboo up there.
Ooh.
they were suggesting.
Carrizo.
Carrizo, we're gonna-
Carrizo on the
the big carrizo we're gonna cut.
Make it our friend.
And nail it up.
Tie it up.
Or tie it.
Somebody, that'd be actually
That's fine.
resourceful.
And downstairs,
Yeah.
una cosa upstairs. I don't
Get
know.
some pictures of what you want to,
No,
what
I
you want to
think-
do
I
this.
think
We already measured.
Yeah.
I don't want to go measure how many need
Then-
to continue the,
With the screen, yeah.
Yeah.
it's not a pergola.
If it's a lot of shade, people
And because
actually
it was
sit
a-
up there, they'll use it, it's just dead space right now. The summer's too hot.
That's great for wedding ceremony.
It would have been nice if the roof went.
So,
Okay.
Jay, on that thing, now that we're talking about that, yeah, so we need to start putting some dates together and some timeframe on,
Yes, yeah.
on how to,
Ahorita, I'm sorry, right now, the Board Olympic deal, because was like.
Came out of nowhere.
Came out
no,
of
no,
nowhere.
that's true, that's
we
true,
put
no question, no
all,
question about that.
all hands on deck on that one, you know.
Yeah,
so
no
okay.
question about that, but, and see if we can put it for
No,
either,
yeah,
once this
well-
is over next month, and
Yeah,
try to
okay.
figure out on how to get all these capital improvement projects in there, you know.
So the next item is the update on the sand for the bunkers.
It's
Dennis, you wanna go
tough.
ahead?
Yeah, I'll go ahead now. We've already got the sand, we got $12,000 ordered, and we already set them up on the front side. I know Tom's waiting to see which are the most critical ones in the back side. So as soon as he, I guess, assesses that before the Board Olympics, obviously, because the ones are already set. We're gonna go ahead and get the ones that we think are, strategic, so that we know that they're gonna affect the players the least. And after that, I know that we have another batch coming, that's whenever the money gets allotted, so that we can do them all.
Tom's totally plugged in on Border Olympics.
Yes, he's been at our Monday
Every
meetings.
Monday we meet, every Monday
Yeah.
we meet with Border.
He couldn't make it
Mondays.
this Wednesday because he's over there trying to get everything situated. You send him some workers today, so he's out there.
I've sent them 8 workers to help them spread out that sand.
Yeah,
They
so,
did a really good job.
Yes, sir. So I haven't been out till Saturday.
yeah.
Not willing.
Well, you don't
But,
land in the sand, coach.
It was, I forget who brought up about more rakes, that's something else
Yeah,
Jim
that's-
to do.
Now it'll be a real issue because now we have sand to rake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
nice.
We wanna keep it up.
Somebody will get the rakes.
Yeah, we'll have
Get
them
it
under
up.
our budget.
Okay. Check. We might have a big old stock of rakes piled up at Piedra China there.
Oh, nice.
I think we might have 10 to 12 of them there.
And now we can make them with the bamboo that we cut. Everything in the bamboo.
But she'll find out by
Yeah,
tomorrow.
let me
Not to
know,
be
and if you
worrisome.
do, we'll bring them in before Border Olympics.
Yeah.
After
Because
that,
they're
I'll-
expensive.
From here, I'll go to Piedra China.
Okay.
And I'll check with
That's where
John.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the mayor's cup?
Oh.
Okay, so the mayor's cup, are we good with the sand? Any questions on the sand? We have, it's in the process, we want to get it done, hopefully down before Border Olympics and get all the,
Yeah, all the critical ones will be
what days
done.
next week? No, the whole,
For what?
Week after.
For work?
what days, when they want to do the sand for next week?
Oh, well, right now, I think today and tomorrow, you send him some more workers, and we'll see how far they get through.
Okay.
And then he'll let us know for next
Okay.
week, Monday. He'll let me know.
Right, hopefully. All right, the mayor's cups, this is our second year, right? This is
Yeah,
your-
are you
Yes.
getting it?
Our-
Aren't you part of the city?
Yeah.
Or
No,
you're-
no,
you're the
county.
Oh,
I
sorry.
need to play.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
So-
City's got more money.
So the Mayor's Cup, for the second year, this is the second year, we have it, all city employees tournament.
Grow the game.
It started with about 50 players or so, all city employees, and we play, this year's gonna be a 3-man scramble.
Mhm.
So we play Saturday morning, we tee up at 9, should be up about 1 or 2, and we're giving trophies and all that. So
Yeah.
we're trying to promote city wellness and different things, activity for the city. So next month, we have a Mayor's Cup softball tournament. And then the following month, we're having a Mayor's Cup soccer tournament. So we're trying to do different sports for the city. I guess since I came on board, we're trying to move
That's great.
things around, so to spread out. So we have a Mayor's Cup tournament on Saturday. Y'all welcome to come.
Well, are we considered, what are we considered here?
That's a good question.
And play for the city.
Yeah, it's for
I
one
was
day.
asked to play in that tournament. They said, no, you have to be an employee.
Oh, yeah?
Committee membership doesn't count.
Oh, you already tried
I
the
was, well,
committee
they asked me, like, hey, Joaquin, you want to play with us? And I'm like,
Put me in the
you're on
public
you're on the
library."
committee, right? I go, yeah, sure. But they're like, nah, you have to be a employee.
Yeah,
That's fine.
You have to have an ID number.
I know an ID number.
For one day, just
Give me one, coach. Give me one. Come on. Put me in, coach.
That's the Mayor's Cup.
Schedule the future meetings. Everybody okay with the current schedule?
We have a
We got,
Did we discuss March?
March 12th.
Everybody voted in
March
favor
12th.
to
That's
schedule
right.
the meetings, but we didn't have dates set, so I have the date set for the second Thursday of every month. So you guys
That's
are ready. I have it on
You have it
on the minutes.
We
So
did.
if everybody approves of it, it's March 12th, April 9th, May 14th, June 11th, July 9th, August 13th, September 10th, October 8th, and November 12th. Everybody voted, then December, like we did last year, no meeting. So I don't know if everybody's in favor of the dates of the second, I know that you guys did vote, like I said, for the second Thursday of every month. So these are the dates.
Can you send us
that-
an email with those dates?
Sure.
It's on here.
Oh, it's on there.
It's here.
It's on the
Yeah.
back page.
On the back page.
I'll send you the menu because it looks like when we do pasta, everybody shows up.
Oh, good point.
Second.
So everybody approve of the dates?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
March 12th is not spring break, right?
It's a no, the following week,
Following week.
16th is that, or Senior Olympics. for
Senior Olympics.
Yes.
I guess we already talked about parking, trash, and alcohol.
well, yes, and we never really came to a conclusion, I didn't think, with what's gonna happen when people are throwing trash out there. What are we gonna do about that?
I mean, I'm
Are you
also-
are you gonna
There
talk
has
to
to
the
be some
marshals?
discipline.
Yes, I'll talk to the
And-
marshals.
We need to start with the trash cans.
Yes.
trash cans and.
I don't suggest you take it into your own hands, but
First,
I've done
have
it
signs,
before.
you know, get people to try to do the right thing. If they don't do the right thing, and consistently don't do the right thing, then there ought to be some.
So what we'll do is start with the reinforcement. After a few months, if we don't see any changes, then we can go to the fine system. And what does the city pick up the fine? They pay the fine directly to the city.
Let's keep the road beautiful, keep track of all that stuff.
But is it like a copy? Like, do we need? Are we gonna be writing tickets? How does that work? Just because, like you said,
Would you
do
deputize
one.
the marshal to work
Yeah,
to
'cause
work
if
on
you do
behalf
one,
of keep the
I think if you do one or two, then everybody's gonna.
How often do you have somebody out there driving around? I didn't see anybody.
Marshals are Saturdays and Sundays.
Politically, tactically, it's
Yeah,
a good
they're
idea.
just driving.
Maybe I'm
Well, not-
oblivious to them.
I mean, Joaquin's point is a good idea to have the police of this actually be Parks and Recreation and not the max.
That'd be
So you got
fantastic.
some distance, some guy complains, you know, to you,
Yeah.
you know, what's going on here? Well, you know, that's the city of Laredo, it's not the max.
I like that idea. Thank you.
You know, there's one other thing that we can, I mean,
knew there'd be a
that
job for
we
me
can
somewhere,
work
so, I
on.
mean, that's-
Yeah.
As far as that's concerned, and it can work with this committee, or it can work with other people that Dennis might feel comfortable with out there. And we can make it known that some of the people that go play out there are deputized in a way that, you know, they're the eyes and ears of the max, let's say. I'm not sure.
Keep it perfect.
Huh?
To keep it perfect.
Yeah,
that's what
and you can have those people that have an armband or whatever that are members of the Max Coalition on Cleanliness or whatever it is, you know, that they are able to approach you.
It's actually not unheard of because, like, even the country club members, if they see a non-member who's playing as a guest, not rake the bunker, throw trash, you better believe that one of their members are going to go to the front desk and say, "Hey, so and so's guest littered and didn't rake the bunkers." So now they are no longer. So
the same thing at the max.
I mean, snitches get stitches is something that's made known in, you know, but it's a golf course. It's a gentleman's
Put your
game.
teeth into something.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'll tell you a quick Laredo story. So,
Please.
when I bought the old Plaza Hotel to make it a bank building, and then we hired this great landscape architect in San Antonio, Jim Keeter, to do that fountain and the cantera and all that stuff. And almost everybody on the board, all guys from Laredo, said, "You're gonna have to put a fence around it because it's gonna get vandalized." And we had, you know, pot plants and all kinds of stuff there. In 25 years, nobody has ever sprayed paint on it or trashed it or anything because we left it open to the public. And my theory, and we always kept it clean and nice when I ran the bank. I don't know what they're doing with it now. And my theory was that people, no matter what their station in life is, recognize nice spaces that they're allowed to participate in and respect them. I mean, I have kids every week take pictures at the gates outside my office. I mean, that whole wall and those gates are really old. No one's ever touched them. So I think, you know, if we set an example at the course and keep it clean all the time, it's always clean and everything's clean, it sends a signal to everybody, and then they're more timid about throwing a plastic spoon or a beer can. So it starts with
And one piece of trash stands out in a beautified area as opposed to an area riddled with trash.
Right.
So yeah.
We have to really keep it clean.
But it really, that's, man, I really believe in that because but it starts with like us that are going out there and then leading by example is gonna set the tone. Anytime that we see, that's what I'm telling you about I've already approached several people out there that I see, you know, way too close, back then when they were too close to the greens, you know, and we didn't have to be over there and going out there and trying to rule them with an iron fist. We just explained to them, hey, the rule is 40 feet from the green, and people pretty much like by it. So
I played, somehow we got in on the Dominion last summer. And they only do it on weekends because I asked. They have a guy in a cart, he's going to follow the path with a trash bag.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing. As the cart's going, you got any trash, and we would dump the trash in there.
Good idea.
And he's keep going down the trail. He's going down the trail. That's all he does, man. He's carrying trash bags. He got a trash bag, and he goes around. I say, hey man, you do it all the time. Oh, we do it when there's a lot of people.
Yeah, the beer cart can have that.
Well, I was gonna say the food cart, the beer cart.
Yeah.
So when Jesse and I were walking all the time, they first built the course, no one was picking up the teas, you know, so on every tee box, it looked like it snowed because it was all white, you know. Now I think they're doing it. But I just asked one time, well, why didn't this girl who's driving the cart, she got nothing to do, right? Why don't she stop for 5 minutes on each tee box with
Pick
a,
up the,
with a something, you know, and pick them up so they can multitask.
Trash bags on the side of the golf or the cart, you know, whatever.
The bev cart, we can do that.
Beverage cart.
I mean, it has but it's not that big, but we can hang it.
Any trash,
I'm sure guys,
the guy would ask for that.
she'll get tip premium for that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you she'll get
pull a
tip.
little trash
And
trailer.
then the guy said, yeah, you did, because the guy would, any trash, you know, clean up the carts and throw them in there. Listen, yeah, what are you driving
That's
around?
something to try. The teas, let me tell you why, because we give away free teas. So people are like, I got another one there. If you stop giving away free teas, people will be picking up teas and like, oh, there's one. So that's something that we could think it would save us a little. We spend probably $2,000 a year on teas, maybe a little bit more, $2,400 a year on teas. Y'all tell me.
This is the first muni that I go to that provides teas.
Yeah.
That I've been to. You guys provide a lot of
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to
teas.
stop that and,
Yeah, I'm all for it.
because it looks terrible
I
to go
think
up to a tee box and have 100 teas laying there, you know?
Okay, well
I
then,
mean, I don't
golf
know very
committee
many
decided.
munis. I don't know very
Hey,
many
no, you
munis
get-
that
you
offer
give
teas
away
in the
teas.
car
Yeah, they're in the car.
complimentary.
Remember, bar have 3 teas.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
private
I'm not
clubs
sure
do
we
that,
can-
Yeah,
but
private
not.
Just finish this batch that you have and then.
Done.
Are you gonna lose any golfers because you quit giving away free teas?
I mean, I'll hear about it, but I'm not gonna lose. I'm gonna hear
It's a
about
bag-
it.
It's a
from
bag
them.
of 200 for $5 at Academy. You'll live.
Yeah.
With your name on it.
But
Well,
now,
yeah, I know.
people are like, ooh, there's
Yeah.
a tea. It becomes like, ooh, like
You're
gold,
right.
you know? Like, hey, ooh. You know? Instead of like, no, I got another one.
Yeah, you're better off. Yeah.
Okay. Now I got $2,400 to do something. Maybe I can pay that per trash
Jay,
person.
I don't know if we can, if we can do it before the tournament. I'd like to hopefully see it before the tournament. The, what we were talking about on the designated areas that we can put, because aside from those tees being at tee boxes, those divots in the tee box area, number 12, all the par threes and all that, not sure we can put some sand boxes in there so that they can fix them up.
That's the other, yes.
And on number 14, on number 4, at the 100-yard marker, so that the student, and I'm doing this because everybody that walks the course, they can't carry a sand bottle. So they're gonna leave the divots there as it is. But if we give them, again, if we can solve the problem for them, people will react to
You
it.
just
So-
put them on the rough, you just put them on the side?
well, we could put it on the side of a decorated box of sand. I mean, you know, that it can be a,
With a little.
yeah, with a little scooper, they'll hit the ball and they'll go get sand and cover it up.
Or
And the
you
coaches,
could just put some of those little containers like you have in the
Yeah.
golf carts, like 4 or 5
If they have
of
to
them.
walk, they'll probably fill up 2 or 3 of them while they're walking back.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, anything that can help us or help them, because I talked to all the coaches and they're willing to do
You
it.
can put some of those extra
Mhm.
canastas that you
Yeah.
have on the golf carts.
Yeah, like the ones on 4.
With a little sign, please, you know, fill
Picture,
your.
Yeah, we just need to strategically put them somewhere.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that the areas where it happens the most, I mean, if you, it doesn't, it's always the second shot on that number 4 area, and it's because of
Number
the,
14.
especially the kids that you have a lot of high school tournaments in there, and we end up fixing those ourselves, but it'd be good for them to take a little bit more
And the
vested
par
interest in it
threes.
and doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the tee boxes, like I said, yeah.
I know that this was discussed before, and I don't know if this was with Tom or not, but a lot of times the maintenance people don't like it, but that's something you guys decide on it, because they have to move it, and then it gets yellow.
Yeah.
Because where it's sitting, it blocks the sun, so it leaves spots everywhere where you're moving it and mowing it, because they gotta mow it and they move it.
Well, on 4,
Are you
that
talking
would be
about the
right on
sandboxes
off the
you're talking
sidewalk.
Yeah, because they sell sand
Is
boxes.
there
Yeah,
any way
but
to
I would-
attack?
I wouldn't do a box, do like something out of
Perforated.
out of wrought iron, that kind of stuff
Yeah.
that you stick in the ground, you know? You can just move it anywhere, and it's got a little deal at the
That's
top,
true.
and you put 2 things in it, just a
We'll design
rod.
something, yeah.
It could be like
Well, it could be the same,
rebar or
the same rack,
something.
the same rack that you have right next to the bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, and just stand it over there where you can't
know-
see it too
You know,
much.
they sell those big hooks that you can hang
Yeah.
lanterns in
Mhm.
your yard, you
Yeah.
know, they're just,
Oh,
you know, like guy
Yeah.
shows big ones.
Yeah, kinda
So you
like
put
that.
one of those and you hang a little basket on it that's got those sand things in it, and no, you know, it just has a. you
Yeah,
like
we could
that.
put them by the tree.
But it's aesthetically good looking also.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, you
like-
could
maybe
buy
put them
those
like
for
on by the
nothing,
tree or
right.
something so that it's not affecting the play on the fairway.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're here by the trees, pues you're gonna be by the tree anyway.
Correct. I mean, I think it'll save us, and, you know, I think human nature will say it's right there, they can go ahead and
So
get it.
my guess is Home Depot or Lowe's has those ganchos I'm
Yeah, I
talking
know what you're
about.
talking
And people use them in their yard to hang lanterns. So that's all you need. It could be this high off the ground. You can move them all over.
Still
the
enough
place.
for the sun and the mower to go through,
Then
right?
just, you gotta have something, a basket or something that
Yeah.
you hang on the hook.
Coach, can I have my $103,000?
Yeah.
Well, we still need, we gotta figure out how to spend that money that they found.
That's a good problem to have.
I don't know what electronic scoreboards are.
Oh, that would be, and then we've already priced it out. So right now in the reception room where there's a big TV like that for weddings and all that, where people roll the things, you could get, let's say, 3 TVs, and right now they're like $500 each now. And you sync them up so that when you have like the Border Olympics, and even when we do our high school tournaments now, each tablet can run a school, and it's rotating constantly, because now you can do all the scoring through your phone.
Oh.
And now the kids could watch, okay,
That's
Nixon,
right.
Martin,
That's right.
and then we can also turn it into one big video later on saying, welcome to Border Olympics, you know, love Laredo.
Advertise.
So and it's not as pricey as they used to be, because you can get, for $500, you can get about 9 of them, so $4,500, and then an in-sync monitor.
Do you have, are those TVs that you already have in there, they're not smart TVs, right?
Some of them are,
Who's
some
gonna
of
pay for
them
that though?
are. Well, that's part of Coach's supposedly.
Well, it's
Somebody
because,
wanna let me know, I wanna speak on
we were, the last time we were discussing, or a couple of meetings ago, we were discussing that it really doesn't look very professional when you have a tournament and they post up the, on the white, you know.
The scoreboards.
The scores are up and handwritten, and you can't keep up until the very end of the scoreboard. When you go to the Border Olympics tournament here at the country club, they have real-time scoring as you go along. And a lot of people, and so if you have that type of technology there, it adds to the course there as far as looking professional,
Right.
instead of having it on paper written.
The old
like
way,
The
yeah.
old way.
So, I don't know if you want to tell them about the money they found.
Yeah?
I don't know much about it.
Oh, good. No, he was here.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? Remember what we talked about at the beginning of the,
He
when
was
we
here when
started
they,
the committee?
Yeah.
That we said, let's look for whatever.
That fee that we were supposed to
100,
pay for capital
104, it's up to
improvements.
104,000 now.
They found
Yeah.
it.
We can use it?
We
Yes.
can
Well,
use
that's
it.
why.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
talked to
I
my
think it
city
depends, though.
councilman.
Yeah, so
He's in
it
favor of
falls
it.
under clubhouse or something like that, which technically that does
So
all
you
this.
would have to justify any expense as it to be to the clubhouse.
Which,
So, I mean, does that
Almost
mean,
needs a lot of work.
does that mean the grounds? Does that mean,
We need canopies.
yeah,
that'd
it
be
could be,
awesome.
We need
yeah.
canopies on the second floor.
How about shading the?
Shading would
That we
also,
were
I
just
think
talking
would
about.
qualify. I mean, really, it's just anything, I guess, necessary and proper, right?
The other thing we might consider as a committee to try and take back to them is that in order that it doesn't come out of the budget for Parks and Recs, that we can add part of those monies to go and back into, and I don't know, we discussed it, back into the golf course itself. And
Not
load
just the
load that
clubhouse.
up and get a fee for that.
I don't know why they said it's restricted only to the clubhouse.
well, remember we talked about it one time. You said it's where like if the pump were to go down, you could use it
I
for.
remember, this all had to do with the bond issue, when they floated the bonds. But it wasn't restricted to the clubhouse only, because the bondholders wanted to know that the course was going to be maintained.
Yeah.
That's why they bought the debt. So, I don't know who,
Yeah, finance just made that remark about it being for the clubhouse, but I remember you and I talking was like, let's say the pump goes down, you have that money to go and fix the pump right away and then eventually figure out where the money's gonna come from. So that'd be
Yeah, I
something to
mean,
look into.
But those are those capital improvement things that we're talking about that
I
are
thi-
becoming
yeah,
self-sufficient.
I think it really is capital improvements of the golf course, and probably you gotta be careful that it's, you're not giving money to Border Olympics or something like
Yeah.
that. But if it comes down to improving the asset that the bondholders financed, I don't think anybody can push back on that.
That'd be awesome.
Good.
That's it. So I think
But
maybe starting next meeting, we could start not necessarily saying, okay, let's spend all of it on one shot.
Yeah.
No, we start need to making a wish list together, putting it together, get pricing on it, and then figure out how we can move slowly to leave some
Yeah.
fund balance going on.
For
in there.
sure, you should use some of that on the sand traps, I would think.
Yeah.
That was the original.
But I do think that we need some clarification.
Yeah.
Because if finance was saying specifically it's for clubhouse improvements and we use the money for something else, I would hate to be in violation of the terms of anything. So some clarification
Yeah.
on that, on the use of that money would be beneficial.
Where can we use?
So that's written down somewhere.
It's gotta be for the bond.
For the bond, it has to be written down somewhere.
Ruth, I remember when Horacio did all that stuff way back, and there was a specific provision in one of the bond indentures, I believe, that they had to have a capital improvement fund. And that money could only be spent on the max. In other words, it couldn't be spent on another park in Laredo. And it's because of the way they financed it. So maybe somebody interpreted that to mean the clubhouse, I don't know. I doubt that the bond indenture was specific to the clubhouse. I don't even think when they sold the bonds, we had planned a clubhouse. I think it was just gonna be a mobile home. And then later, the city appropriated more money and we gave some money to do the clubhouse. So I agree with Joaquin, you need to look into it. But I'd be kind of aggressive because I think that money can be used for any capital improvement to maintain the golf course.
There's also always an argument to be made that it falls within the guidelines. We just have to be a little creative.
Right.
Sure,
Let's do it.
but it was good to know.
Yeah, so.
It would be unusual if it was just restricted to the clubhouse.
Agreed.
So it's
like a lot
it's
of
an
money just for the
ordinance?
A lot
clubhouse.
of money for the clubhouse.
So it's an ordinance, Ruth, because I remember one time somebody called and complained to me and they called Horacio and Horacio goes, you just gotta tell them it's a city ordinance. There's no,
I don't know if it's an ordinance.
well, that's what he told me because it was somebody in the law enforcement division that was like, I'm not gonna pay this capital. I was like, okay. But I guess he called Horacio, Horacio called me and goes, no, you tell them it's breaking the law. That's an ordinance. So I was like,
You know,
okay.
who would know, maybe, Alejandro Larada might know.
He might.
He might know, but the other, who was the city financial officer?
Mr. Sosa, Francisco Mesa, maybe? The budget guy.
Francisco Mesa. He retired. Does he
Yeah,
still play?
he goes
golf?
and plays every once in a while.
He'll know.
Yeah, I have his number.
He will know exactly.
Let me text
And-
If we can get the paperwork here,
Mhm.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure we can read it and see what
Right,
it says.
but
We just need
just
access to the
ask him to
paperwork.
refresh his memory, was there a restriction that the capital improvement funds could only be used for vertical construction? I don't think that's the case.
Yes, Ruth?
Due to the Border Olympics, it was a last minute, but I was gonna have a meeting scheduled with the finance department and with Elisa Castellon, who's in the city attorney's office, because we need clarification on the contract about the capital funds that was used, because in our last meeting, we had spoke about the money, and they have said we had to go to council to get the money approved to use it. So there's misunderstanding, there's a lot of things being said, and we need to get the clarification on that. But
That
the
may be
Border
true.
Olympics came in at the last minute, so that had to push back on the burner and take care of
But
that
may
right
be
now.
well
But
be
that's
true.
what-
Maybe the city council has said, maybe, the golf course goes and says, we want to spend $16,000 on these things. Maybe the council has to say yes. or no.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what they
Yeah,
had
that's what
said
I'm
for the
It's
last
probably
meeting.
true.
I don't think
All
we'll get a green
I'm
light.
challenging is whether it has to be confined to the clubhouse.
Yes.
Because I don't think the clubhouse was contemplated when they sold those bonds.
So Mr. Gomez was gonna put in the next agenda, so to see what they
Perfect.
say on council meeting about that.
Do-
So that is.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the process of getting it, I'm not, what I would hate to see for them, well, to get clearance on whether we go on every item, or we can say during the budget process, we're gonna allocate 40,000 and keep it over here, so that we don't have to be asking you for every.
But what they're gonna wanna know in these
Yeah.
categories, see, because if I was on the city council, you say, okay, 40,000.
Yeah, give me line items.
Yeah, but then what are you gonna spend it on, buying new uniforms or,
Right.
fixing the van or something? Maybe that has nothing to do with maintaining the golf course.
Yeah.
Well, huge number one on the list ought to be making sure that your pump is functional, and if it breaks down, it gets fixed immediately.
Right.
And that's huge.
And I talked about this, I think, in the first meeting, that we've now educated Mr. Horstman that he can use our pump if
We
your
have 3
pump is
backups.
down.
Oh,
And
okay.
He
All
didn't
right.
know that. And so then he was scrambling around trying to get the city to buy a backup pump, but you don't really need it as long as our pump's working.
Yeah.
Because all the plumbing's there to do that. I think he tested it. right?
Yeah.
Okay. Forget what I said?
Well, the pump's very important. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, 2 or 3
Takes
days in
care
the
of it,
summer.
all of that.
No, I didn't realize we had backups.
Yeah, his is the backup, and then the city, they put in a fire hydrant there that water hoses would be the last, in case both went down or whatever.
Yeah.
They would run it, pump it into the lake, and then pump it out.
Well, you can always rent those submersibles too, if you need to.
Yeah, so we're good. All right.
So next meeting, we'd have the report on how to go about the process of getting those monies, right?
So I was just gonna say that the item of parking lot lighting for whatever it's worth.
That looks great.
They did it already.
It looks
amazing.
They did it.
very nice.
Yeah.
They fixed it up nicely.
Yeah,
Yes,
all our
Ruth?
plugs are working now. Thank you, Ruth. Even our outdoor plug, our pump, our blue fountain plug, nobody's getting
I
shocked.
attached behind the minutes the repair list that Mr. Rick Garza had requested. And I didn't put, because when I did the list yesterday, all 45 lights in the parking lot has been,
Replaced.
they're all new, replaced, new cables and everything. I have pictures of the
Good job.
cables were burned out. That's why they were not working. We got some to put them a little bit higher. The ones that we couldn't, when I was out there yesterday doing the inspection of the whole parking lot, they look beautiful, you can see the lighting. I talked to the guys who were cutting the grass, we did it lower, that way you can see better the lights. The only thing that I'm gonna work on is talk to traffic, Mr. McGee, to see can we get the parking
Barriers,
blocks,
yeah.
the wheel blocks, because the lights are so low in some areas, we
Right.
can put them up. They could run over them and break them again, and we just spend a lot of money on that, $5,000 with the cables and everything. So I'm gonna talk to see, Coach and myself, we could talk to Mr. McGee to get that for the parking lot area, that way the lights don't get damaged again
Good.
on that.
On
But all
that,
45 lights
They
are
haven't changed any.
working, and
Excellent.
there's a lot
That's
of
what
light,
we're
they're
waiting for.
photocell
That's what
type
the
of
city's asking for new
lights on it, so as soon as it get dark, it lights on.
can you, on that, now we can go ahead and mark it off of the initial list that you did, the walkthrough that you did with
Exactly.
Dennis.
Yes.
So maybe we can all play along the next meeting
That's why
that we
you
have.
have that list.
So we have the list of
You
the
have
things
the
that were
list,
done.
it's behind the minutes.
Huh?
It's on the back.
Did you
So,
receive?
no,
all the
yeah,
stickers?
no,
Yes.
but remember
So-
you had 100 and some odd items in there?
Yeah, we still have more things.
No,
so-
I said, but that way we can see, we can play
Cross
along
them off,
and
okay.
say, this
Exactly.
is done, and then that way we don't have to,
Exactly,
we can
so
always
right
go
there,
back to it.
I did not put the date, so if you want to put the date for the parking lots was yesterday, Wednesday, the 12th, it was done.
Yeah.
For the parking lot?
Parking lot lights, yes. It's been repaired, and that was the city electrician, Mr. Moreno,
Mhm. They did a great
who
job.
worked, Mr. Hernandez, Danny Hernandez,
También.
so the ones that did all that work on that.
All
Do
the
you-
things we're pending on
Oh,
the
sí, sí.
Those things
tile
are
and all that kind of
pending,
stuff.
yes.
Dennis, do you recommend, we talked about this for the last couple of years, does it do any good to spray in the spring for mosquitoes? I know that the
I
ones that
think
were
you
going in the
can.
morning was dangerously,
Yeah.
it was almost a health hazard to play in the mornings because you would get eaten up alive
I think
Really?
we researched
Of
it.
course.
at the course. As soon as the moisture comes in, the sun would come out in the
Yeah.
morning or later on at night. I mean, you'd be attacked.
I
I mean,
think,
you
I
have to
think,
spray yourself, obviously, but it was just in some areas, at some points of the year, it was
Really?
completely unbearable.
I think at one point we called and they said we couldn't because something about the mosquito fruit fly and the fruit flies and all this, and I was like, oh, okay. So it was like, okay.
So we're gonna put some,
Yeah,
what do you
so you
call
gotta
it?
find some,
Some
something that look at the
tiki
fruit.
lamps with that
Buy
stuff.
Another good reason to cut the carizo.
Put on plenty of cutter and off, man.
Yeah.
So I just have
Extra strength.
one kind of safety thing that I worry about is, who's responsible to be sure that the exhaust fan in the kitchen out there is cleaned every 6 months or something.
Yeah, we follow it, we put it in our budget, because it's about $895.
To get the grease out of
Yeah,
the.
they go in
Grease
there.
traps.
Yeah, I think they go in there.
But you have to have it because health.
Yeah, they
health
go check.
department is. you have
Fire
to be
department
coordinated.
goes out there and checks
Yeah,
that stuff.
so
Fire and health.
I think we
And
did
then
it
the
a couple
Ansel
months ago.
system is also very important to have checked.
Yeah, we do that once a year.
Part of your deal.
I
It's
just
another
thought since it's so
$1,200.
far out there, maybe somebody forget about it and that.
No, it's 800.
All kitchen fire.
Okay, you have to have a sticker on it. That's a little
The
sticker
fire
on
department
it.
don't check it.
The only reason I know is because I have to write the check, $895. I'm like, to clean the fan, I'm in the wrong business.
Ruth, can you put on the next meeting for discussion? I want to see and bring before the committee and see if we can get to the point where even and I'm not sure, that's why it's up for discussion. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to offer advertising throughout the 18-hole area, not, and let's say the water jugs, that if somebody maintains them and puts, any company name at the bottom that sponsors this thing, and it'll maintain the upkeep of that area. Even the trash cans, even a sign that says, fix your divots or keep the golf course clean, and they can maintain some of that signage in there. I'm not sure that I want to plaster it with advertising, but in an organized manner, like Casablanca used to have, they used to have advertising at every water jug.
Maybe a more discreet way to do it would be to have some nice printed material, like a little brochure on every table in the clubhouse or on the scorecards. It says, water jugs donated by Sames Motors, such and such by such and such, and then you change sponsors, you don't have to change everything. If you could somehow put it in the golf carts or put it up on the screens, something like that.
It might be a good revenue generator.
Speaking on that, I know we've tried it and we've approached and we're waiting some feedback, but since our signs, each hole we can make the sign rotate on your screen. So maybe that's how we do it, where your water provided by so-and-so, but we don't have a Salesforce team. So it's tough, you know what I mean? But if you guys could help and spread the word.
But I think that's the way it would start off first, and anything that the city might, any questions that the city, your first client would be the city of Laredo, because they'd be putting in any information that upcoming events for the city and anything like that would come up. I mean, Unit Trade Stadium, the baseball season's here, and then start doing that, and then people will catch on with that. But we can sell it with word of mouth
Each
right now.
department can some money for advertisement and all that.
That'd be great.
So it might be something to consider as a revenue source.
Danny?
You can get sponsors. I mean,
Yeah, so what happens is, like, let's say you drive past hole number 1, and instead of bringing up the whole sign for number 2, or this number 2 comes up, on the side would be Danny's restaurant, go watch the Tecos or something like that. Tonight, there's a game tonight, and we can upload everything from our desktop or our phone, so that they would send me every week the game schedule or whatever.
Before we adjourn, somebody needs to follow up on this Border Olympics breakfast deal to see if Taco Palenque or somebody will do that, because we might not get them back if they have to write checks for $5,000 or $8,000 of food that they're getting free at the country club.
Right.
Thank you.
That is correct.
let's,
But as the Pancho wrote it down, I'm not sure if he's gonna
Yeah,
make the
he's
call.
gonna follow up,
But
and he's really good about
we might want to
following up.
follow up with
I know
him.
Ramiro has.
We might follow up with him, Jay, and make sure that he did get it, and that way we can.
I have a meeting with him Saturday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be all there.
We're all gonna be there Saturday morning.
They're working.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned.
Wait, hey, wait to get Gary a gavel.
Yeah, that's right.